Hey everybody, Unstable Gamer here, and tonight we're going to be taking a look at battle lines, and specifically we're going to be taking a look at PvP versus PvE. Now there's a number of cards in here that I would consider strictly PvE and not necessarily a good card to have for PvP, and then vice versa. So I have put two decks together that I've really been playing a lot with, and this right here is really kind of my thoughts on it, right? There's a whole lot of opinions and things that work for other players and things out there, but these are just some thoughts that I had specifically on PvE versus PvP. So this was a question in one of the comments on one of my videos on deck building from Jono Nesbitt. He was asking what my thoughts were, how my deck would change up between PvE and PvP. So that's what really prompted me to put this video together. Thank you, Jono. That was an excellent question. So we're going to go ahead and jump into that. But first, if you're just now finding my channel, consider hitting that subscribe button to stay up to date with all the newest content. Alright, so the way that I take a look at PvE versus PvP is really considering my opponent. When you are playing PvE, obviously it is the AI that you're playing against, and it's just not as smart as playing with an actual live person. The deck changes a little bit because some of those clutch decisions, and frankly really good decisions on where to place the characters, don't really follow with the AI. Now recently they did an update to improve the AI, which is great. Still, it's not obviously going to be like playing another player. So when I put my deck together, I'm really a Wasp fan. I like playing her, but recently with the update, she went from 25% down to 15% chance for an action card to return to your library so that you can reuse that during that same game. It still works, it's just not as effective anymore. But if you take a look at the top 10 in challenge mode, it's mainly Thanos that's in there now, whereas before it was dominated by Wasp. And that was because at 25%, that return rate on an action card was huge and could really turn the tide of the battle. So it was just Wasp against Wasp. Now you're seeing the Thanos in there, and Thanos is a really good leader now for challenge mode. So for PvE, my thought really goes towards clearing the battlefield. That's why I like Wasps so much, is because I can load my deck up with action cards. As you can see in this deck here, I should have like 6, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got 6 action cards, so I've really balanced the deck between action and character cards. So we're just going to run through this really quick. And this is how I run my PvE deck. This deck here is really working well for me. And it's working for me in all PvE aspects of the game. Trial, simulation, challenge, spec ops, even in the different events. However, with the daily challenges, which is really cool, you do have to alter your deck a little bit in order to complete some of those puzzles, which has been pretty cool. So in my deck here for PvE, I have Black Cat. She is awesome with being able to move and grab nearby cosmic fragments. Techno-Organic Virus is a staple in every deck. I don't care if it's PvE or PvP. It is a great card to have because it really disables those characters that have abilities within the game, like the Hulk and She-Hulk and Malekith and such. So that's a really good card. Stick is a really good card just because you throw him down, 0 cost. Your opponent plays action cards and he buffs himself up. Next I have Kicked Out. This one is really cool again because any character that has an attack below 600, you're going to go ahead and KO that enemy, and then you're going to destroy the square underneath so that you can use it tactically. Your opponent's not going to be able to use that. Now the AI does seem to get a little confused with this, but when you use this against an actual player, another player, you got to be a little more careful if you use this card, just because another player can adapt a lot better than the AI can. Karen, again, she's a staple. She belongs in every deck. I don't care if it's PvE or PvP, in my opinion. You knock her out, you get a cosmic fragment. It's all about building up your cosmic fragments. So these 3 characters here, as far as your 0 cost characters that are required for every deck, I think are pretty universal. Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange, great card. He's great for finishing move. He's great for PvE and PvP. You plop him down towards the end to do a finishing battle line, and he just works out really well. That shield is awesome. Captain America is great. When you throw him down, he deals damage to all nearby enemies. It's not one, it's not in a specific direction, it's all nearby enemies. And you level him up. This guy right now does 231 damage, and he's got good health, good attack. Common enemy is good as well. You mark an enemy as a target who's got an attack higher than 360, and it uses both your characters as well as your opponent's characters to knock out that specific enemy. It's really good for your higher characters who just have a ton of health, or She-Hulk that has buffed herself up. I like Helicarrier Strike. It does work very well against the AI, and it does a ton of damage. You do 770 damage in a horizontal line, so that wipes out a number of even high-level characters that you use. She-Hulk, I think she belongs in almost every deck as well. She's just a grower. You put her down, she buffs up. And then Yaka Arrows, that's another one that is just good in almost every deck. So a lot of these cards are universal between PvE and PvP, but my strategy specifically against the AI is just to overwhelm the AI with action cards, and then I use She-Hulk, Captain America, and Doctor Strange to really build that strong offensive. So there's my PvE deck. Taking a look at PvP. Now PvP, I used my Wasp deck for a while, and that was pretty consistent. That worked really well, got me up to Arena 5, and that's kind of where I stumbled a little bit, especially once they nerfed her from 25% down to 15%. So I really needed to take a different approach when going in and battling a live person. Now, this is where the strategy changes a little bit, is when you play another person in the arena and you start getting those high-level cards, it's really about sustainable abilities that these characters have. So just by running through this really quick, you have She-Hulk. Again, we already covered her. She's good in PvE and PvP. Her sustainable ability, her ability to increase her attack and her hit point every single turn is a definite benefit to PvP. Daredevil, every single time you summon him, he's going to do... I've got him up to level 4, so he's going to do 279 damage. When you run out of action cards, because you're going to run out of them, you need characters that when you summon them, they're going to do damage to your opponent, because eventually both of you are going to be out of action cards, and you're going to be relying strictly on those heroes. And in the arena, it seems a lot more beneficial to have these types of characters than if you were fighting against the AI. Again, the 3 staple characters, Stick, Black Cat, and Karen for your zero-cost characters. Again, they're just awesome. Target Locked. Target Lock does a massive amount of damage. I got it at level 2, does over 1,000 damage, and this is really to take care of those really high hit point characters. Hulk, Thor, She-Hulk when she grows herself, Hela, all these characters that just have a ton of hit points. This card here is to go ahead and take that out. So this one you want to use very strategically. You don't want to use it obviously on a low cost card. You want to use it to really take out those high hit point cards. Tactical Retrieval. I think this right here is also a staple in almost every one. The reason I have it in here is this is all about building up my cosmic fragments so I can really put out my heavy hitter cards. So that's why I have Iron Man. Iron Man is my leader. Once I have 4 fragments or more, it increases the value of the cosmic fragments on the field by 1. So it helps me maintain a high count of cosmic fragments. So with that and Tactical Retrieval, along with Karen Page and Gwen, Spider-Gwen here, I just constantly have cosmic fragments coming in. I can use Doctor Strange, I can use the Hulk. I have 3 cost cards that I can continually put out there because I always have a good stash of cosmic fragments. The Hulk's good. You know, I have him in here because I don't have Malekith. If I had Malekith, I would put him in here. You want a card that's going to be able to do damage every single turn as well. From what I've seen and from my experience, is really key in the arena. Because it's, again, the sustainable ability. Every single turn you're going to be doing damage. You're going to be putting pressure on your opponent. So Hulk, Thor, Malekith, those types of characters right there, I really believe are key in the arena. And it's going to help you get to those higher arena levels. Techno-Organic Virus, we've got that there again as well. Gwen, again, just with her, every time your enemy plays an action card, you're going to earn a Cosmic Fragment, which is great, because the cool thing with her is Techno-Organic Virus, if someone plays it on her, it's going to wipe her out. However, because the action came before the damage, she's still going to go ahead and grab that Cosmic Fragment before she dies. Either way, you're going to win. Doctor Strange, again, good for PvE and PvP. Really good for that finisher. You throw him down at the end. You know you got a battle line lined up, and you're just going to cause a massive amount of damage. That attack and hit points is just awesome. And then Storm and Eradicate. So I have this one in here because I don't have... what I would really like to have right here is, what is it? The Afterlife card. I would love to have that one. You want some board clearing or mass clearing card in there so you can take out a number of enemies at the same time. So Storm and Eradicate works sufficiently well. Again, that Afterlife card would be much better here. Gwen works if you want to add another character in there. She does quite a bit of damage if you have a stockpile of Cosmic Fragments. I mean, even if you have, right here, Radioactive Warning, targeted enemy, and then it covers what? It deals 350 damage to target and all characters nearby. So it does a massive amount of damage there. There's also another one. Then you also have Meteor Strike. Meteor Strike is really costly, though. You've got... It costs 3 Cosmic Fragments, so I don't know how useful that is. But again, with this build here, I have quite a bit of Cosmic Fragments, so it may come in handy. However, if I can use a lower cost card, such as Storm and Eradicate, in order to, especially at 1 cost, in order to do that damage, then that's the direction I'm going to go ahead and go. So, PvE and PvP, really the difference is in PvP you want characters on the board that are going to have sustainable abilities, do constant damage, or grow themselves, or every time you summon them they're going to do damage. So that's really the key difference between the two. PvE, you're not worried about that so much, just because the difference between playing against the AI and playing against an actual person are quite different. So there you go, everybody. That's what I had for you tonight. Just my thoughts on the differences between running a PvE versus a PvP deck. Again, I want to thank Jono for that question. It was an excellent question. I thought it made for a pretty good video. I hope this helps you in PvP as well as PvE. I hope the strategies and the thoughts behind my decisions, I hope that helps as well. So I want to thank everybody for watching. If you liked the video, make sure to let me know by hitting that like button and sharing your thoughts and questions in the comment section below. Take care, everyone, and we'll talk to you next time.